Going. Okie dokie. So I think since it's so nice to have all of you here because we've all practiced together quite a bit, especially this fall. So, I think throughout today's practice, just like reminding us to take time to be in our own body. And, you're familiar with your practice and with my teaching. So maybe challenge yourself to look less at the screen and listen to the words, but be more in your body if you feel so inclined. So we'll start in our toe opening pose today. The usual, get all 10 toes tucked under, and then listen right here, right when you start getting into it already. Notice if you have any heightened sensitivity or if you are like really ready to just go deep today. And that's okay. Yeah, it's just sort of as we begin to get into this practice, we can already start to listen to how our bodies are sort of engaging with us. So you can leave your fingertips down on the ground, place them on the lap. A new variation that I've been playing with is holding on to my heels with sort of a hand position like this, and then pressing into the heels to gently lift up the heart. This is quite nice because it gives you a little bit of extra pressure on the feet, and also gives you a little bit of a nice opening heart for the beginning of our practice. So wherever you want to settle, we'll just hang out here for a minute or so. And just beginning to drop into the space, drop into your breath. You can maybe close the eyes if that feels good, just while I chat for a few moments. And, as we move into this space, Raven and I were actually talking the other day about the study of being in our own bodies is kind of a profound act that we can engage in. Yeah, we typically learn about other bodies. We learn about the sort of general body that we in theory have, but we don't always look so much at our own bodies and our own systems that we engage with. So again, today, as we move through our practice, just taking this time, perhaps listening to the words that I give and share, but also just really listening to your body. Yeah, you are the only one that has this sort of beautiful opportunity to listen to your body, you and your body. And so taking this opportunity today to really dive inside of that. You can bring your palms down and just lift up the feet and sit back on your heels. You can give them a little rock side to side, but seeing if you can just let all of that begin to integrate into your feet, up into the legs. We sit in our hero's pose for a moment. Virasana. And as we settle into this space, we can begin to notice the breath. Notice as we breathe into the belly. Notice the space of the lungs expanding around the space of the heart. The bones of the ribs, the shoulders, and the collarbones gently rising and falling. Nice soft belly, allowing for breath to enter the base of the pelvis. So arriving in this space right now. Offer our guru mantra, all of our beautiful teachers that have gifted us with this practice. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Giradhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All of our teachers that have brought this practice into our awareness. And today, perhaps our bodies can become our teachers as well. Go ahead and begin by taking a nice deep breath in wherever you are, filling the entire body with breath. And then exhaling through the mouth. Do that 2 more times. Big, big breath. Really just filling the body, bringing as much breath, as much prana as you are able. Take another sip at the top of the breath. And let it go through the mouth. Nice sigh, really allowing all of the air to leave the body. One more big breath. and sealing the lips, inhaling, filling the low belly. Mid-belly, upper chest, crown of the head expands, elongating the spine. As you exhale through the nostrils, crown of the head softens, chest, mid-belly, low belly pulls towards the spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inviting that slight constriction in the back of the throat, Ujjayi Pranayama, just as if you were fogging up a mirror with your lips closed. Noticing that beautiful oceanic sound of the breath, this pranayama building heat in the body, bringing the mind into the body. And with each breath, just noticing the body expanding, as the breath travels up through the spine. And as you exhale, the breath falls, melting downward. Just take 2 or 3 more big breaths like this, seeing if you can begin to expand and elongate the breath. Meeting this breath as your companion for your practice today. Gently opening up the eyes if they are closed. Go ahead and bring the palms together in front of you and give them a little nice rub just to feel the sensation of the palms against one another. And then clasping the palms, go ahead and flip the palms away from you, like you're scooping down and out. As you take a deep breath in, scooping the palms all the way up and over the head, letting the elbows pass the head if you're able, arching the spine. And as you exhale, beginning to pull the arms forward, pulling them away from the body, opening up the shoulder blades, chin can draw to the chest as you round the spine forward. Inhale, reaching out and up, finding a nice arch in the spine. Maybe the eyes gaze upwards. Exhaling, drawing the palms down and out, reaching away. Yeah, so the shoulder blades, continuing this with you, with your own breath at your own pace. Seeing if you can really allow the shoulder blades to open and expand in all areas. Yeah, you're reaching the heels of the palms away, allowing a nice warming of the spine. Big breaths. We're opening up the ribs, opening up space for the breath to enter the body. Next time you come down, just go ahead and see somewhere in front of you that you can gently place your palms and begin to lift the hips off of the heels. You'll find sort of something resembling a tabletop with the palms laced together. So the pinkies are towards the top of the mat, the thumbs are towards the knees, and the knees are right underneath the hips. We'll begin to find some circles with the body. You can keep the spine straight for now. Just beginning to rotate the body towards the right. So we're warming up the wrists, we're warming up the hips, the knees, the joints of the body by bringing in some circular motion. Continuing to breathe, maybe inhaling as you move forward, exhaling as you round to the back. And then perhaps you can begin to soften the spine. And beginning to invite any yummy curviness, gooiness to your rotations here. And in whatever way you'd like, perhaps without even stopping, you can begin to find your way to rotate to the other side. Yeah, so if you're rotating to the right, change to the left. You can do it in your own creative way. That feels good. And warming up the wrists, seeing how this feels. Maybe letting the shoulder blades loosen against the back of the ribs. Nice gooey spine. Taking a few more breaths here. Letting out any sound. It is Friday after all. Having that nice relief of the end of a week, even if your week is not dependent on the Monday through Friday schedule, can be quite nice to acknowledge that. As you're ready, just letting that dissolve, you can bring the hips back towards the heels, just releasing the palms, giving the wrists a little bit of a party for a moment. Yeah, reversing the direction if you can figure out what direction that was. You can do that a few times. And then just bringing some movement into the shoulders and the elbows. You can find this sort of flicking nature up and down. See if you can release the wrists, release the elbows, release the shoulders. Taking a nice big breath in. Let it go. One more big breath like that. And let it go. Yeah, I can give the shoulders a little shake if that feels good. And just bringing the palms back out in front of you, a little bit past your tabletop. Then tucking the toes behind you, shifting the hips up and back, finding our downward dog. Yeah, so moving right into it today, just noticing if your body is a little bit resistant to moving into this space, and that is okay. Just inviting in the breath, inviting in that more gooey, luscious nature. Yeah, we don't have to be so precise with each and every movement, but we can invite ourselves to be present with the sensation. Yeah, getting into the backs of the hamstrings, getting into the ribs, just noticing what is my body experiencing today? What information is it giving me? And how can I respond? Eventually, you'll begin to find your sort of more stationary down dog. Just noticing as you press into the palms, the shoulder blades reach down the spine towards the pelvis. The base of the pelvis is lifting up nice and high, and then draw the lower ribs together to protect the low spine. Release the neck. You can have soft knees, perhaps the heels are lifted. It's nice, strong, stable down dog. The inner thighs can reach towards the back of the room. Take a nice deep breath in here. Deep breath out. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift the right leg high. Begin to open up the hips to stack the pelvis. We're just going to spend a moment here noticing the toes as they point towards the right side of the mat. Really opening up the pelvis here. Reach, reach, reach with the leg nice and long. Finding an exhale wherever you are, and then another deep, deep breath in, reaching, opening up the hips. And as you exhale, begin turning the toes towards the mat. Notice that the pelvis will close, bringing the toes then back down to the mat. I'm going to find that on the other side. So inhale to lift the left leg high this time. Notice as you begin to open up the hips to stack the pelvis, the hips open. The left leg is reaching out and back, but the toes are pointing towards the long edge of the left side of the mat. Go ahead and take a deep breath in wherever you are. And as you exhale, turning the toes back towards the mat, closing the pelvis, and then bringing the toes down towards the mat, back into your down dog. So we're just going to flow through that, kind of like these big, giant opening and closing, and just seeing if you can pay attention and tune into the hips and the pelvis, that beautiful hip joint that we can sort of, I like to think of juicing the pelvis with the bones of the thighs. Yeah, so as you take your next inhale, we'll do that with the right leg. Inhale to lift the heel, then open up the hips, stack the pelvis, and then exhale to turn the toes down, close the pelvis. And that right foot comes back down to the mat. Inhale, left leg sweeps high, opening up the pelvis, really reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, turn the toes down, eventually closing the pelvis. Toes come back down to the mat. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. Inhale, right leg sweeps high, open up the pelvis. Exhale, toes turn down, closing the pelvis, stepping back down to the mat. Inhale, left leg sweeps high, opening up, reaching. It feels so good to open up the pelvis. Exhale, toes turn down, coming back to the mat. 1 more time, each side. Inhale, right leg sweeps high, open, open, open. Exhale, right toes turn down, close the pelvis first, then bring the toes to the mat. Left leg sweeps high, inhale. Open, open, open. Exhale, toes turn down, and coming back down to the mat. You can begin to press into the toes this time, lifting the heels a little bit higher. Bend the knees, stretching out the bottoms of the feet, and then the knees will come back down. You can release the toes, and then just pressing into the palms, hips reach back, finding a child's pose for a moment. Just taking a moment to notice how the body feels. We just spent a lot of time with the palms and the wrists taking a bit of pressure, and begin to open up the hips, open up the spine. The body feels different perhaps. Go ahead and take a deep breath in here. And exhaling. And let's take 1 more big breath here. Feels so nice. And let it go. Go ahead and shift the weight forward into the palms, tuck the toes, shifting the hips up and back, finding your down dog once again. We'll just find a few flows through our plank to get our shoulders nice and warm. Go ahead and inhale to lift the heels nice and high, chin and tail tucked together as you roll forward to your plank. Finding your plank for just a moment, nice and strong. Heart reaches forward, chin slightly tucked into the neck. Nice long front of the hips. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, bend the knees nice and deep. Press into the palms, hips lift, back, down dog. I'll find that with just a nice gentle breath. So inhaling to roll the spine forward. Exhale, press into the palms, knees bend nice and deep, and then lifting the hips nice and high. One more time here. Inhale, heels lift, roll forward. Exhale, bending the knees, pressing into the palms, lifting the hips up and back. Finding your down dog. Take a nice deep breath in here. Exhale, letting it go. And begin walking the feet forward, one step at a time. This time, rather than going to our normal forward fold, we'll just go ahead and have the feet on the outsides of the mat. So the outer edge of the feet can be on the outside of the mat here. Let's find a nice opening in the hips and the hamstrings. You can walk the fingertips a little farther forward, have a nice bend in your knees. Notice as you press into the palm or the fingertips, the heart can gently reach forward. At the same time, imagine that you could kind of draw the legs out and back. So you want to really open up the base of the pelvis, spreading the legs wide. Heart is reaching. A nice arch in the low spine even. And get into some different muscles here. And then I'm taking a nice big breath wherever you are. And then gently exhaling to lower the torso between the thighs. And just like we normally find this with our forward fold, finding any movement, maybe shaking the head no, nodding yes. Maybe you want to hold on to opposite elbows and find a little bit of a bound. Maybe you just want to hang out. And if you can release the belly, release the face. Just enjoy this sort of, not quite a wide-legged forward fold, but a wider-legged forward fold than our Uttanasana. Taking 2 or 3 more breaths with whatever you need here. Take one big breath all together. Inhaling. And let it go. Go ahead and bring the palms back down to the mat if they're not already there. You can heel toe the feet back towards hip width apart. Lift up the toes, spread them nice and wide, and plant them deep into the earth. Begin lifting the inner arches of the feet as you draw the chin and tail together. You can press into the feet, and rolling up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Nice heavy arms, heavy skull. Front of the knees, or front of the ankles open, backs of the knees open, front of the hips open. Shoulders can come up to the ears and fall down the back of the body. Finding our Tadasana. So incredible how our practice can shift our ability to stand. Feeling the body in this shape, perhaps drawing an intention for your practice into your mind, into your heart, into your gut. Perhaps it's simply to be here, to listen. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through the mouth, pressing into the feet, lifting the crown of the head. You inhale through the nose, feeling the lips this time. Out through the nose. And as you inhale, arms sweep high, lifting the eyes with the fingertips. Exhale, folding forward, creasing at the hips, palms find the earth. Inhale to lift the heart, halfway lift, long spine. And then exhaling to step the right leg back. Knee and toes will come down to the mat. Stay with me here as you inhale, begin lifting the heart, fingertips stay down. And then exhale, pressing into that left foot, drawing the hips back, finding our half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Yeah, so we're getting into the hamstrings a bit today, which will be quite nice for many, many reasons. Yes, as you find your Ardha Hanumanasana, think if you can really draw the sit bone of the left hip back. So you want to begin to pour the pelvis forward and keep the heart nice and light. Taking a few breaths here, just noticing perhaps if you can draw this back even more. Yeah, we tend to curl the spine, which shortens the hamstring and puts pressure on the low spine, the lumbar spine. So when we begin to engage with this space and pour the pelvis forward, we elongate the hamstring and we can brace with the core to protect the low spine. Yeah, moving with intention, taking 2 more breaths here. Flex, flex, flex that left foot. Yeah, getting into it. Let's take 1 big breath together. Inhale. As you exhale, begin walking the palms back forward, bending that left knee. Press into both feet as you inhale, arms will sweep high, finding our low lunge. You can exhale to let the shoulder blades and the hips melt towards the earth. As you inhale, gathering the base of the pelvis, feel like you're pulling up towards the heart. And then as you exhale, you can soften the engagement, soften the shoulders, melt down a little farther. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale to press down, gathering, engaging the base of the pelvis. And then exhale this time, palms come down to the earth, stepping back, finding our down dog. As you inhale this time, rolling forward to plank, that really nice luscious spine coming forward. Shoulders find their way over the wrists. And we'll take another moment here. Very nice, sort of strong plank. Yeah, we all know plank quite well. The thing is, you can really find that space, pressing into the palms to open the back of the heart. Heart also is reaching forward to open the collarbone. Heels reach back away from the crown of the head. Belly is reaching for the heart to open up the front of the hips. So strong. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, knees come down, chest and chin comes down between the palms. As you inhale, press into the palms and the toes, lift the body off the earth for a moment, and then exhaling all the way back down. Inhale for baby cobra, maybe full cobra or up dog if you're ready. And then exhaling, hips back, finding your downward dog. Taking a nice deep breath in here. And exhale to let it go. Inhale, right leg sweep high this time, keeping that square pelvis that we found earlier. As you exhale, stepping between the palms, left knee will stay lifted this time. Plant the left palm down as you inhale, right arm sweeps high. And as you exhale, draw the heart towards that right knee. Right hip will pull back, left hip is reaching forward towards the earth. Taking a nice big breath in here. Exhale, twisting from the base of the spine. Maybe eyes meet the right fingertips. Taking a nice deep inhale. Exhaling, let's take 1 more breath here. Biggest breath, filling the body. As you exhale, right arm swoops back and down, reaches forward, stepping forward for your forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep high, lifting the eyes. And exhale, palms to the heart. Taking a moment here, just noticing already how much more open the body perhaps feels. Maybe there's some stickiness still in there, and that is okay. Lifting up the toes, spread them nice and wide, plant them back into the earth. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale to let it go. Inhale, arms sweep high, lifting the eyes with the fingertips. Exhale, folding forward, hips crease, palms find the earth. As you inhale, heart lifts, nice long spine. And exhaling to plant the palms, left leg back. This time, knee and toes come down. You can inhale to tempt the fingertips, heart reaches forward. And as you exhale, begin drawing the right hip back, finding that half split on our right side. So once again, noticing if your tendency is to curve with the low spine, just putting a lot of pressure on your pelvis, on your sacrum, seeing if you can begin to sort of pour the pelvis forward. That might mean it might mean that you come up a little bit, and that's okay. Finding that nice deep crease in the front of that right hip, drawing that right sit bone back towards the back of the mat. We'll take about 3 breaths here. Inhaling. Exhaling, open heart, flexed foot. Yeah, get that nice deep sensation. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Letting out any sound if that feels good. Let's take 1 more inhale here. As you exhale, begin bending that right knee, walking the fingertips forward, finding that low lunge. Once again, press into the feet as you inhale, the arms to sweep high. And exhale, shoulder blades and hips melt towards the earth. Once again, we're going to gather the pelvis as we inhale, press into the earth. I think you're pulling your pelvis up towards your heart. Whew. Exhale, soft shoulders, soft pelvis releases. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, press, 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 gathering the pelvis. And as you exhale this time, palms find the earth, stepping back, finding your down dog. As you inhale, rolling the spine forward to plank. And exhale to pause here, once again, finding your plank. Yeah, it's not my plank, it's your plank. So you can enjoy it in the way that you like. Joshua decided to come underneath my plank, so I can't get out of it. You might have animals that do this for you, to provide you with a nice challenge. You're also finding this nice strong heart, strong hips, strong palms, maybe giving yourself a little smile. Let's take one more big breath in here together. And as you exhale, knees come down, chest and chin come between the palms. Press into the palms and the toes to inhale, lifting the body gently off of the earth. And then exhale to lower all the way down. Inhale for halfway baby cobra or full cobra or up dog. And then exhaling to send the hips back, finding your down dog once again. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it out through the mouth. Inhale, left leg sweeps high, keeping the hips nice and square. Exhaling to step between the palms. Right knee will stay lifted this time. Plant the right palm. Inhale, left arm sweeps high. And as you exhale, drawing the heart towards that left knee and the left hip reaches back. Now, so twisting from the base of the spine, pressing into the right palm, inhaling, exhaling, twisting a little deeper. Take 2 more breaths here, inhaling to reach, exhaling to twist. One more big breath. As you exhale, left arm sweeps back and down and around, then reaches forward to send you back into your forward fold. Taking a nice big breath in here. And letting it go. Big, big breath. Letting it go. And then we can move on into our standing series from here. We're going to keep moving at this really nice pace where we're building heat, but we're doing so in a more gooey fashion today, yeah? So in the winter time, when we feel overwhelmed or when the body feels exhausted, we still need heat. But we can bring in heat without overwhelming the body system. So continuing to invite that big breath into the body. The breath invites movement, which invites heat, inviting beautiful presence into our own system. We'll take a nice big breath in wherever you are. And let it go through the mouth. Inhale, feeling the lips this time. And let it out through the nose. As you inhale, begin shifting the weight into the toes. Maybe the heels lift gently off of the earth to see how that feels. As you exhale, sending the heels back into the earth, all the way, bending the knees, beginning to lift the torso, finding our way into our chair pose. Now, right away, finding this space, really nice, strong structure, long spine. Belly is drawing up into the heart, which then allows the shoulder blades to wrap around the ribs, sending them down the spine, nice open neck, offering to something above you. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale, hips sink a little deeper. Let's take one more big breath in. And exhale, folding forward. And inhale for a halfway lift. And as you exhale, plant the palms and stepping and hopping to the back of the mat. You can make your way through your own vinyasa. If you're ready for a chaturanga, you're welcome to move through that. The flow vinyasa is always optional. Yeah, sometimes we like to challenge ourselves. We become our biggest competitors. But really just seeing if you can listen to what your body's asking for. We'll meet in down dog as you're ready. Settling into this space. Each time we enter this posture, it is a new posture. As you find a space, we'll go ahead and take a deep breath in through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. Inhale, sealing the lips this time. Exhale, letting it out through the nose. Inhale, right leg will sweep high, nice square hips. Exhale, knee draws to the nose, pressing into the palms to gently step the right foot between the palms. Keeping that left knee lifted, left heel presses forward. So you're kind of launching yourself forward gently. And from here, press into the feet, inhale. Arms begin to sweep high, finding our high lunge. Already from here, begin drawing that left hip forward. Yeah, even if it's subtle, see if you can begin to close this left half of the pelvis. Gather something above you. Yeah, allowing the shoulder blades to wrap down and around, soften in the hips. Go ahead and take in one more deep breath. This time, as you exhale, palms will meet behind the spine. We're going to do our pseudo humble warrior. I think I call it humble high lunge. You can inhale to draw the palms down, reaching the heart up gently, keeping that left hip drawing forward. And as you exhale, begin folding forward, creasing in that right hip. We'll just take a couple of breaths here. So the palms are lifting back and away. That left hip is drawing forward, and the torso can rest on this right thigh. Just taking 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhaling. 1 more inhale. And exhale, palms come back down to the spine. Inhale, arms sweep high, finding a moment in that beautiful high lunge. And as you exhale, open up, finding our warrior 2. If that right leg is splitting, just give it a moment and go back down into your warrior 2. Yeah, letting the body recover, but still challenging it to keep going. From this shape, noticing that left or right hip is rolling under the body, left hip is reaching down. There's beautiful dynamic engagement that we can have with ourselves. Reaching the fingertips away and the shoulder blades fall. Taking 2 more breaths here. See something out in front of that right middle finger. Deep breath in. And exhale, letting it go. And as you inhale, arms sweep high, right toes turn in and right knee extends long. As you exhale, palms will meet behind the spine, crossing the palms once again. You can inhale to draw the palms down towards the earth, that beautiful heart opening shape. And as you exhale, perhaps soften the knees as you begin to crease forward in the hips, finding our wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. So if this feels a little bit scary and ungrounding, go ahead and release the palms and bring the palms down to the ground. Maybe it feels really good and you want to hang out here forever, listening to what your body's saying. I like to find a little bit of movement. When you bend the knees, it gives the hips a little bit more room to crease. Just finding about 3 breaths here. Noticing the quality of the breath, noticing the information the body is giving you. Let's take 2 more breaths together. Really allowing the spine to hang. 1 more big breath. As you exhale, the palms can meet the low spine, and then just allowing them to pass down the backs of the legs all the way down to the earth. Then walk out the palms out in front of you, past your halfway lift. So it feels like you're reaching out in front of yourself. Turn this way. You reach out in front of yourself and give your knees a nice slight bend. Begin reaching the base of the pelvis behind you, kind of like what we did earlier today, but this time we're in a wider stance. And then from here, leaving the left palm planted, begin to reach the right palm underneath the space of the body to grab onto the left ankle. So we're finding a little bit of a twist here. From here, begin to lean back away from that left ankle to begin to roll the heart up towards the sky. Let's take about 3 to 5 breaths here, depending on your pace. Seeing if you can slow down the breath and make it last a little longer. And you can press into that left palm or the left fingertips to really roll the heart back, twisting from the base of the spine, maybe even drawing that right hip back. Taking 2 more breaths. Exhaling. Big, big breath. And exhale to let it go. Releasing that right palm, and reaching the both palms back down in front of you, that nice long spine we found. And then from here, let's go ahead and melting the spine down once again. Taking a moment. If your knees are bent, maybe letting them extend long. See how that feels. If your knees have been long the whole time, maybe bending them. On your next inhale, go ahead and press into the palms, finding that nice stable halfway lift. And then as you exhale, begin to walk the palms forward to the right foot, beginning to frame this right foot. Spin into the left toes, and we're going to be moving into a half split from here. So beginning to find a little bit of a buoyancy in this left foot. Notice earlier we found that sort of pressing into the left ball of the foot to launch the body forward. And without getting too wild here, just beginning to press so much into that left foot that you can begin to lift it off of the ground. Noticing here, actually we'll find both of these. As you find yourself all the way on this right foot, notice as you open up the hips, that similar shape that we found earlier when we were in our down dog, that feels so good. You open up the toes to point towards the left, and then gently closing the pelvis as you turn the toes down. We can find that 2 or 3 more times if that is of service to you. Yeah, you can open up the hips. This is where we like to go because the hips tend to be more open this way. And then as you exhale, turning the toes down, closing up the pelvis, this gets more into that right hamstring. Do that one more time. Inhale to open it up. Hi, Joshua. Exhale, closing the pelvis. And we'll pause here just for a few breaths in our standing split for a moment. Really allowing the inner heel of that left leg to reach high to keep the pelvis nice and square. See if you can begin to soften the neck to allow the head to hang heavy. So taking a few breaths here. Lifting that leg a little higher. This tends to burn in that right hip. That's okay. One more breath here. As you exhale, drawing this left foot behind the right so the pinky toe edges of the feet connect. And then walking the palms over to the right front corner of the mat. You can begin to send the weight into that left heel. Drop the neck. If your hamstrings are a little tight, maybe having something underneath the palms. Maybe you just have the fingertips on the ground. Just seeing if you can really extend this left leg long. We're getting into that outer left hip and the IT bend. Just for a few breaths. This right heel might lift off of the ground. The left leg can be quite passive. Take 2 more breaths here. Letting out down. Sighing always feels good. One more big breath together. Inhale. Walking the palms back towards center, planting the weight back into the right foot to flip the left leg back, bend the right knee, step back, finding your lunge for just a moment, and then stepping back to find your downward dog. Taking an inhale to roll forward to plank if you'd like to move through a flow. Perhaps you hang out in down dog, perhaps you find a child pose. We'll take about 5 breaths wherever you're at. Listening once again to what your body is asking for. Beautiful. I'm just noticing wherever you're choosing to be right now, how the body has shifted. Yeah, it's so beautiful how we can move the body with such intention and it shifts for us. Yeah, we are the actors in this body, so we can choose to shift. Go ahead and make your way back to your down dog, and we'll make our way through the left side. We find this space, taking a deep breath in through the nose, and letting it out through the mouth. Inhale, feeling the lips, and out through the nose. You can inhale to lift that left leg high this time, keeping the hips nice and square. As you exhale, bringing the knee towards the nose, press into the palms, gently stepping the left foot between the palms. Before you lift your spine, just notice as you press into the right toes, the heel launches you forward, and then inhaling to lift the arms high, finding that high lunge. Right away, the right hip is reaching forward as you reach the arms high, gathering at the base of the pelvis and something above you. Yeah, just really opening up this right hip. It probably feels quite different from the other side, giving that a little bit of a smile, a little bit of compassion. Taking a nice deep breath in here. And then exhale to draw the palms behind the spine, lacing the fingers. You can inhale to reach that heart up or up towards the sky. And as you exhale, begin to fold forward, keeping that right hip reaching forward so that that left hip doesn't swing out. Yes, this is a good challenge for us because when we have that right heel down, we usually swing the left hip out. So seeing if you can really keep the hips in the midline of the body. Just taking 2 more breaths here. Exhaling. Deep breath in. As you exhale, palms come back down to the spine. Inhale, arms sweep high, passing through that high lunge. And then exhaling to open up, finding our warrior 2. Once again, if that left leg is like screaming at you, just give it a moment. Come right back down. Getting right into our warrior 2. Left hip is dropping down to rotate that left femur. And then the right hip is reaching for the left heel. Fingertips reach away, shoulders soften. See something over that left middle finger. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhaling. Big breath in. Exhaling to soften. Inhale, arms sweep high, left leg extends and toes turn in. Under that nice long spine, and then clasping the palms behind you as you exhale. Inhale, heart opens, lifting the gaze. And then exhale, softening the knees, creasing at the hips, finding that forward fold. You're welcome to stay here again, or perhaps you find another variation that you want to try out. If you're a tripod headstander, this is a good opportunity to do that. Maybe you just want to keep the palms on the ground. Just again, listening to what your body is asking for. Taking about 3 to 5 breaths wherever you're at. You can reach the palms behind you if that feels good. Holding on to the ankles or the knees. And eventually, with whatever variation of the arms or legs you have, just bringing the arms back down to the ground. And begin to walk the palms out in front of you, past your face to the fingertips, and begin to press into the palms to reach the hips back. Yeah, sort of like you're pulling the hips away from the fingertips and have a soft bend in the knees. You begin to reach with the spine, taking a deep breath in. Exhale even longer, like you're reaching the hamstrings away from one another. This time, as you inhale, just gluing the right fingertips down, and exhaling to throw the right arm underneath the body, left arm underneath the body to find that right ankle. You can plant the right fingertips to begin to pull the body underneath the right arm, perhaps leaning back into that sort of counter tension here. You can draw the left hip back gently. Just finding that nice deep twist. My left shoulder is a little bit tender. Beautiful when we find out these things that we didn't realize. Yeah, I'm just listening. No judgment for the self, just noticing what feels like what and responding. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One more breath. Go ahead and release that. You can walk the palms back out towards the front, and then just draping the spine forward, maybe extending the knees if they were bent or bending them if they were straight. Just taking a moment to allow the spine to reset. And then pressing into the palms, inhaling for a nice halfway lift. And as you exhale, just walking the palms to frame the left foot this time, spinning up with the right heel. And finding this standing foot once again, so first pressing into the right toes. Yes, that same sort of launching motion. As you press into the toes, the right heel presses you forward. And so then as you're ready, you can begin to press so much into that right foot that you launch yourself into your standing split. And from here, we'll find that nice opening and closing once again, so you can inhale. You begin to open up the hips back to pelvis. Notice this feels quite nice, and you probably have a bit more range of motion. Yes, and then as you exhale, turning the toes towards the earth, closing the pelvis, the leg will drop, and that is opening. As you inhale, rotating the hips open, lifting, feel so nice. And exhale to close the hips, turn the toes down. So that's one more time. Inhale to open, and exhale to close it down. And staying here, really allowing the inner heel of the right leg to lift. So even imagine that the inner thigh of the right leg is sort of holding up the whole leg. Yeah, so you're really keeping a nice integrity in the squareness of the pelvis as you extend. You're really working the hamstrings, making them allow the neck to drop. Just thinking about 2 to 3 more breaths here, knowing that the mind will probably say, get out. But that's okay, because you know that you will. Taking one more big breath in. And as you exhale, sliding this right foot behind the left so that the pinky toe edges meet. Can bend this left knee and just gently walking the palms towards the front of the left edge of the mat. And then just sending the weight into the right heel. Yeah, so getting into that outer IT band of the right leg, the outside of the right hip. And if you can soften a little bit more, maybe soften in the back of the neck. Finding about 3 breaths here. Letting all of that effort begin to melt away. Taking one more big breath in together. And letting it go. Walking the palms back towards center, planting the left foot down this time, sliding that right leg back, stepping all the way back, finding yourself all the way back in your down dog. This is your chance to go through one last flow if you'd like a little bit more heat. Taking a moment when you are ready, just dropping the knees down and finding our child's pose for a few breaths. We did it. Oh, I'm being attacked by a cat, and sometimes that happens. Yeah, so as you find yourself in your child's pose, just noticing, once again, the quality of the mind, the quality of the breath, and perhaps we can begin to tune in to how the body has shifted during this time. Moving with this more luscious, fluid, intentional breathing, warming up the body in a more gentle and compassionate way. You're welcome to hang out here if you want a little. Actually, why don't we do a headstand practice instead of handstand today? Handstand is a little bit too wild, I think, for my own self. I'm not saying that about you guys. You can walk your palms back up and just bring in the knees together. You can sit back in your hero's pose. And if you want to practice your headstand, I'll lead us through that. If you have your own practice for inversion, feel welcome to do that as well. So to get into our headstand safely, just bringing yourself back up into your tabletop position and then dropping yourself onto your forearm. You can cross the forearms to see if the fingertips should be right at the elbows, and that's a good signal that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. You can bring the palms back out in front of you and then clasping the palms, creating a little basket for the back of your head. I like to preface this that we're going on the top of the head and not the forehead or the back of the head, but the forehead should be completely free of the earth and your neck should be nice and long. So bringing the top of the head down, you can find a nice sort of resting place for the back of the head in this basket. And from here, maybe walking the knees forward, tucking the toes, and gently pressing into sort of dolphin down dog moment. And this is a perfect place to hang out, just to sort of get some information about how to bring the hips over the shoulders. You can even play with rocking forward and back on your toes, lifting the heels, pressing them back. Whatever you're doing, you really want to engage by pressing into the forearms. If this is where you feel comfortable, you can hang out here, or you can begin by lifting one leg, seeing how that feels, and then the other. You're also welcome to go into your full headstand. You just like to avoid hopping. Yeah, without fear. We don't want to be too scared of our own practice, but just being aware of what's around you. Beautiful. And taking about 3 or 4 more breaths in this practice. Continuing to breathe even when we're upside down. That's always a good challenge. And whenever you're ready, just bringing yourself all the way back down. Finding your child's pose once again. Checking out how that feels. When we turn upside down, it gives our body an opportunity to sort of mix things up, change perspective, change direction. And from here, we'll move into our camel. To open up the heart a little bit, we'll go from below. I think all of you have done this with at least me before, if not maybe Kishore or Ida. So bringing the knees back underneath the shoulders so that they're in line with the ankles. You can hold on to the ankles or the heels behind you. This nice little seedling shape. Finding this shape and feeling that you can really hold on to the heels, really feeling the bottoms of your feet with your hands and the hands with the bottoms of your feet. As you take an inhale, you can begin to lift the eyes, lift the chin, beginning to find a nice open heart here. You can continue to lift out, and that's really allowing the chest to open and expand. And then as you lean back, the hips will begin to unfold as you press into the heels and the hips begin to open, finding yourself in camel. Yeah, a nice way to find this. Continue to lean back, continue to reach the hips forward, pressing into the earth, just finding 2 or 3 more breaths here. If this is a lot for your spine, just bringing the palms up onto the low back. Taking 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And as you exhale, just allowing the weight to pour backwards, keeping the heart open, hips fall towards the hips, their heels. And then the heart leads you down, so keeping the chest and the neck and the throat open as you fold yourself back down, releasing back into your seed shape. Taking a few breaths here and noticing how the body feels. And either staying here in your seed shape, or if you want to try that one more time at your own pace, this is a great time to do that. Seeing if you can go through that nice arcing and opening, continuing to breathe, just leaning back to open up the hips. Yeah, nice heart opener, nice opening in the front of the belly and the front of the hips as well. And releasing that, coming back down, all of us meeting in our little seedling shape. And from here, palms can come back underneath the shoulders and just gently pressing into the palms to lift the spine up. Shift the hips to one side, and then bringing the legs out in front of you. And sort of walk out the hips to see how that feels. And then we'll find our seated Padangusthasana to release the low spine a little bit. So bending the knees, heels come onto the earth, really flexing the feet back. Our goal is to get our armpits on the knees and the base of the palm all the way onto the base of the ball of the foot. So finding the palm grip here first, and then seeing if you have to bend your knees a little bit more. Maybe you can even go out a little farther. We really want to sort of capture the knees with the armpits to get a nice release. So we'll find this space, and then as you are ready, drawing the chin back into the neck and then tucking your chin into the chest. You can take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, press into the ball of the feet, pulling the spine over the leg bones. Yeah, really finding that nice compression that allows for the nice sort of traction in the low spine and the upper spine and the back of the heart. Taking about 3 more breaths here. Decompressing the ribs, decompressing the pelvis. Let's take one more big breath in. And as you let that go, just releasing the palms from the feet. Go ahead and slide the forearms underneath the knees. You can hold on to the elbows on either side underneath the knees. And then you're welcome to stay here, or perhaps you begin to walk the sit bones back gently as you find yourself closer to a forward fold. The nice thing about this variation with the arms is that the upper arm sort of holds the legs in a parallel position. Yeah, notice if you let the arms go, which you're welcome to do as well, the legs will sort of flap out to the side, which is just another variation. Yeah, the nice thing with the crossed arm variation under the knees is it just sort of holds you together and allows you to release for a moment. Dropping any tension out of the face, out of the neck. You can feel your own breath on your own body, quite beautiful. Taking about 3 breaths here. You're allowing the spine to soften. And if you can invite in some of those nice big breaths. Nice big sighs. As you're ready, just sliding the arms out from underneath you. You can gently roll up through the spine. Notice how that feels. Shifting the hips to the center of the mat. And we did this yesterday, so I didn't explain it very well, but it's just kind of a fun moment. You can hold on to the knees with the palms or the elbows, and then just take a moment to sit up nice and tall, and then draw the chin towards the chest. And we're just gonna fall backwards to roll out the spine. You just wanna keep the chin tucked towards the chest. You might walk the toes towards you, seeing when that sort of tipping point to fall backwards is. Nice moment of self-trust. And then allow the back of the head to meet the earth. Taking a moment to hold the knees nice and close to the chest, maybe rocking side to side. Releasing the elbows, you can hold on to the knees with the palms, and then allow the knees to gently pull forward. So you can extend the arms, and there's another moment of traction here. Yeah, you can really release a lot of the effort, and you're really just allowing the weight of the bones to sort of drop into the pelvis. You can find a little wag with the tail for a moment. A lot of us have quite a bit of stagnant tension in our lumbar spine. I will speak for myself that I know I do. So a lot of these more gentle movements can actually be quite profound. Go ahead and drop the left foot down to the mat, and then cross the right ankle over the left knee. You can reach through this nice gap here, and just finding our reclined pigeon. I like to find a little bit of movement here side to side. If you are ready for stillness, that's also fine. I'll offer a few variations as well. You can hold on to the back of the hamstring for a little bit more space. You can hold on to the calf muscle. You want to go even further, you can extend the left leg high and then reach up for the calf muscle or the foot. If you're choosing to do this, see if you can begin to draw the base of the pelvis back down towards the earth. It's sort of like you're planting the back of the body onto the earth, and you'll get a bit more sensation in that right hip. Just taking about 3 to 4 breaths here. This is quite nice if you have the leg extended and you flex the foot nice and fully. You can get into the sciatic nerve on that left leg as well. Just taking a few more breaths. Seeing if you can begin to soften in that right hip. Nice big breathing. Let's take one more breath here. And exhaling to let it go. You can release any clasp of the palms, and then just crossing the legs all the way like you're sitting in a chair. I don't know if this is how any of us sit in a chair, but cross your legs nice and tight so the thighs are nice and glued together. And you can put the ball of the left foot down just to shift the hips over to the right, and then allow the legs to fall over to the left, finding a supine eagle twist. Push that left shoulder out from underneath you a little bit. Just finding some nice juiciness here. Again, just a few breaths. And when we spend less time in these spaces, we can really allow the body to melt right away, releasing any resistance from the earth. Notice if we're pressing down, see if we can just be release. And taking one more big breath here. And letting it go. And gently unwinding the legs, coming back to center. You can leave the right foot down and cross the left ankle over the right knee. And then finding your variation, maybe you're hanging onto the hamstring or the shin bone. Maybe you extend that right leg high and reach up for the calf muscle or the ankle. Yeah, both of our legs are very different. So just noticing what works for you. I'm just taking a few breaths here. We are at about 1 o'clock for Eastern time, just a heads up. It'd be nice to stay together for the rest of our practice. We'll just go through this left hip and twist, and then we'll go to Shavasana. But if you have to run, I absolutely understand. I want to respect your time. Just taking a nice big breath in wherever you are. And letting it go. And releasing the fingers or the palms wherever they're at. And just placing the right toes on the ground to really cross the legs nice and tight. And then shift the hips over to the left and allow them to fall over to the right, finding our eagle twist. Can draw that right shoulder out from underneath you a little bit, and then just release into this twist for a few breaths. Seeing if you can really allow the body to surrender. You know, even when we put in all of this effort to do active, engaged things, we can just as actively practice disengaging and softening. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One more breath, biggest breath. Just letting that go, beginning to unwind. You can make your way towards a happy baby pose for a moment, indulging in that sweet, innocent contentment of the infant. Yeah, happy baby. Could all be something that we learn from your happy baby. Just eventually releasing in whatever way that serves you. And extend the legs out nice and long. You can open up the arms nice and wide. Maybe you take up some extra space today. Friday, a beautiful practice of indulging in what feels good. What do we do for our bodies? How do we give back to our bodies? Listening a little deeper, softening a little more, challenging ourselves in ways. And entering this beautiful state of rest, Shavasana, as we begin to let go of any effort, let go of any needs to do or have or change. Yeah, simply being and allowing the innate wisdom of the body to do what it does. We witness nice and soft, allowing the bones to fall into the earth and the beautiful air to rest on the skin. Shavasana. Just for about a minute. And of course, staying for as long as you need. And you're ready, just beginning to deepen your breath, returning the mind to the body from wherever it chose to go off to. Returning to the breath, filling the body with this beautiful pranic force of life, bringing movement into the hands, fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, elbows and knees, stretching the arms above the head, finding that yummy, yummy stretch. And making your way to one side. Once again, pausing, allowing that beautiful practice of release. And from that nice soft space, gently pressing into the earth to bring yourself up to a closing seat. Palms can find their way to the space of the heart. Eyes soft or closed. Just taking this moment before we take a step off of our mat to really indulge in this practice of self-study is such a gift that we can give ourselves, allowing ourselves to act from a deeper place of intention as we move through our lives, connecting with ourselves so that we can connect with others. Let's take a deep breath in together. And let it go. Bowing the chin to the chest, honoring all that has come before us, all that has yet to come, and all that is with us in each and every single moment. Thank you for joining me for this practice today. Namaste.